Hey guys, Amy here with Profiles Backstage and your December swag. So sorry about the delay of getting the swag bag up online. We just had a grandbaby, so I've been a little preoccupied, but here we are. We're back on track. So let's go over what is in your December swag bag for your gingy nails, which these were just so cute and so much fun to create. And to start with, we've got our drop gel. This has been such a fan favorite, the drop gels. So that is in white. And then we have our bedazzlement. And then we have ice ginger, which is one of the new icy cat's eyes. So to get started on the design, I am going to put a coat of the ice ginger on two nails, and then we'll do a nude nail as well. So the icy cat's eyes are great because they don't need anything underneath them, and they are really bright when you use that magnet and pull all that icy kind of pigment up to the surface. So I'm just using the Rollo magnet here, and I'm just waving the sides. The Rollo magnet is like a medium strength magnet, so it does really good when you're trying to get that really high illumination kind of in the center of the nail. So it's definitely a go-to for me. Again, just sweep those sides. You'll notice the closer you get to it, the more it's going to disappear, the pigment. So you know, go a couple centimeters away. And for the nude nail, I'm using Undercover Agent, which again is my favorite nude out of all of the super polished colors. So you can do 1 or 2 coats of that, or any nude, light pink. If you're going for more of a white, that's cool too. So we'll let those cure. I am using my disposable palette, which this, if you have not used one of these, you are missing out. I love this thing. I can just rip the paper off and toss it, and my palette is clean again. I'm really bad. Like, I love all those pretty palettes, but I'll tell you, I'm really, really bad about wiping it down so that I'm scraping gel paint off of it. So this has really worked for me. Disposable, way to go, super easy. Anyway, we're just going to take a dab of that ice ginger, and I am going to use a dotting tool to create the gingerbread design. And we'll start with a bigger dotting tool kind of for the head. You want to grab enough because the head is going to be a little bit bigger than those arms and legs. So you can switch to a smaller dotter tool, or you can just use a little bit less product. And we're just going to add 4 little dots. And then we'll use, if you want to use your dotting tool to connect them, you can. We'll do another gingy here. And then I'm just going to use like an art brush to connect them and widen out the arms and the legs. So just grab your favorite art brush, and you'll put a little bit of product in that art brush. Not too much because your dots are heavy and they'll pull, but you do want to add some product into that. So I'm going to go down and just kind of connect to each leg, and then it will go across to connect the 2 arms. And if you feel like it needs a little bit more product, or it needs to be a little bit wider, just use that art brush and widen it up a little bit. Add a little bit more product. And we want to magnetize these, so you do want to make sure that you have enough cat's eye on there. So we'll do the same again with this one. Go out towards those legs and then straight across for your arms. Super simple gingerbread man. We're keeping this very, very simple with all that ornate stuff that you got in the swag as well. If you want to dress these guys up, you absolutely can. Put a little red bow tie on them, put eyeballs, whatever you want. But I wanted to keep this pretty simple. So I am taking the magnet, and I'm just really going, again, a couple centimeters away and just bringing all of that shine and that pigment right to the very top. So once I'm happy with this, we're going to go ahead and cure this design. Okay, and once that comes out of the lamp, we are going to put top coat over top of this before we add any of the embellishments and before we add that drop gel on. So I'm just going in with a top gloss of I think I'm using the Super Polished Top, and nice thick coat, so it really just protects that cat eye. And we'll go ahead and cure that. So now I'm also going to top coat my 2 ice ginger nails. I am going to top coat one with matte and then one with shiny, and you guys can kind of see the difference, see what you like better. I have some clients that don't love matte top coat. They feel like it makes their nails look unfinished. So I personally love it, and I love putting embellishments on top of matte top coat, so it's like the shine and the matte, and it just gives you so much dimension. But regardless, we're gonna go ahead and cure that, and then we'll put our drop gel on. Okay, so for the little embellishments, what I'm going to do is just kind of touch the nail with a little bit of drop gel and then create just a tiny little pearl of it. I don't want to go overboard here because I don't want it to flood the stones that I'm going to put on top. And when you're doing that little swirling to break the gel, you want to stay right on top of it. If you pull to the side, you might notice that circle is now an oval, or it's going to have a string. So I am taking the smallest gem and placing it right onto the uncured drop gel. Once I get it on there, I'm going to give it a little press, and that way the drop gel kind of comes up around it and protects it. Super easy. It kind of looks like a candy drop. I love this look. I do it with acrylic a lot as well. So again, we're going in and we're creating those little dots and swirling to break that string of gel. So for this one, I am creating the kind of melted, snowy icing look. So now I'm just taking that drop gel and I am filling in the free edge just a little bit. I don't have to be perfect here because I know that I'm going back in with an art brush to perfect it, to connect it, and to give it the curves that I want. So I'm just grabbing that art brush. I believe I'm working with like a 9mm art brush right now. And we are just pulling this gel and connecting it to those dots that we created. And because that drop gel is a little bit thicker, you might have to use a little bit of pressure to kind of move it and put it where you want. I am going to work out that little air bubble there. That stubborn little guy. I don't want to cure that in it. So if you do see an air bubble, just kind of work at it. You'll eventually get it out. But again, just perfecting my drips here. And when I am happy with this, we are going right in with our stones. Because the drop gel is also a great adhesive for crystals and embellishments, you don't want to cure that first. We're going to cure it right into the drop gel. So I'm going to grab a few different embellishments. We'll grab a couple glass beads. We'll grab different sizes in the crystals, and we're just going to place them on there. I have noticed a little tip for you too. If you're using a lot of pressure when you're picking up those stones, the wax isn't going to release the stone very easy, and you're going to have a hard time, and it's going to pull away from the gel when you're trying to pull your tool away. So sometimes I'll get the stone I want, place it on my little palette, and then use a very light touch to pull it up so that it releases really easy for me as well. Oh, I had one that got away. That's okay. We'll just go in and grab another. And again, just kind of press it on there and let it release. You can always go back in with the other side of that tool and move it around a little bit, or press it in a little bit to give it a little bit more dimension. But when you're happy with all of your embellishments, now we're going to go back in and cure. And again, I love the drop gel for this technique too, because I don't have to top coat it. And we all know we don't want to top coat our crystals. It kind of ruins all the cuts and the faucets of the crystals. So now we're going to go in and do the little stripes of the gingerbread man. So if you trust yourself really well with the applicator of the drop gel, you can go right in with that. But I just feel like sometimes my lines are a little wobbly, and because these nails are pretty short, I want a little bit thinner line than the applicator is going to give me. So I just put a little bit on my palette, grabbed it with that same art brush, which like I said was like a 9mm art brush, and I'm slowly just kind of dragging it on the nail. You'll notice you'll have to go back in, grab some more gel because it is a little bit sticky to work with on a brush, but you want to get a nice dollop of it and then let that tail of the gel kind of shrink in and then go in and create your art. At this point, you can add as much dimension as you want. Like I said, these are shorter nails, so I'm not adding a ton of dimension, but I've got a nice dollop of the product on there. We're going to do that also on the bottom edge, and even though we're going to put our candy drop buttons down the center with the rhinestones, I am going to cure these two just so that they stay put, and if I hit it with my brush or something, it's not going to move it or ruin what I've already done. So I'm going to do that bottom half, and then we're going to give it a cure. So I did grab a dotting tool this time to do my dots. I wanted to keep them nice and small. I don't have a lot of room in there. So we're just going in and giving those 3 buttons, and we're keeping them pretty close together. Again, twirling and letting that string break away naturally and kind of shrink back in. And then once we've got these 3 dots on, we're going to go in with the smallest stone, and we are going to place those right inside. We're going to give this a final cure. Again, we don't have to top coat this drop gel. We're going to give that the final cure, and you guys can let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks so much for being so patient in me getting this video up. I've been getting lots of cuddles in with Carly's new baby. So Merry Christmas, guys. We will see you next year.